Aerosmith. Eric, I think you should take the lead on this topic.
For me, the cool thing is Aerosmith has a very successful past, and I think finally they're decided, that it's time, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with saying it's time.
Not everyone can be Kiss and do 17 retirement tours.
Exactly. And you know what? Maybe some bands should actually follow the lead of Aerosmith and say it's time. Maybe Don Dokken and a few others. You know what I mean?
Motley Crue.
Yeah, Motley Crue, exactly.
Yeah. Well, can I just say I want to give Aerosmith props for one of what I think is one of the most legendary moments in rock music history, and it's this right here. Aerosmith Run DMC.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Walk This Way. That Public Enemy and Anthrax I like better, obviously, because it's heavier. Yeah. It's more like.
But I mean, but
this was first.
Aerosmith one bridged a lot more.
I mean, this was first.
Yeah,
Run DMC, Aerosmith, Anthrax, Public Enemy was influenced by that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, and that video for that song was a pretty cool moment, when they're all
absolutely,
when Steven Tyler knocks through the wall and looks over and he sees Run DMC, and it's it's a cool moment that bridged the two genres.
The crossover, the ultimate crossover moment, Rage Against the Machine owes that moment everything.
Exactly. Anyway, Joey, tell us do you have any memories of Aerosmith?
I do, actually.
Do you? Cool.
Yes.
Hear it.
I owned a few CDs that were compilation things or whatever.
Yeah.
But my first actual album, CD of one band was Aerosmith Permanent Vacation.
Nice.
Good I bought it from a kid in the neighborhood for $6 or something like that. And
great album.
I played that album quite a bit, actually, because growing up in a very conservative Christian home, I wasn't allowed to listen to the hard stuff, and I slipped that one through and started branching out into secular rock. So.
I'd love to hear that, Joey, because that's a great album, and one of my favorite songs on that album is the title track, "Permanent Vacation."
I gotta look up the track because there was one song on that album I absolutely loved.
I had that on a cassette, a recorded cassette that my dad had recorded me or something. Permanent Vacation. I also had Pump.
Yeah, Pump was when it wasn't the first one I bought. It was Done with Mirrors was the first Aerosmith album I actually remember getting, and that had let the music do the talking and that kind of stuff, and it was just a great. Aerosmith influenced a lot of bands, and it's funny because since I've been listening to Aerosmith for so long, I know their style, and I have the band. Another band that I'm a huge fan of is Armored Saint. But if you listen to Armored Saint, you could totally hear the Aerosmith influence in them. And there's a lot of bands you can do that. If you just listen to them, you'll hear the Aerosmith influence. And even the bigger part of the Aerosmith influence is the stage outfit. You see the people with the microphone stands with the stuff hanging off of it, the long shreddy things hanging off of it. That's Steven Tyler right there. I mean, anytime any of that, there you go right there. That's
another Aerosmith, iconic Aerosmith moment, Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah.
With Britney Spears. Wasn't Slash there
look
too?
At this microphone stand. I mean, you look at that microphone. That is, if you see anybody with that, that's Steven Tyler.
Was that Nelly? I think that's Nelly to the right too.
Yeah,
country grammar guy.
And it's so for me,
hot in here.
When the Pump album came out, or no, Get a Grip. when the Get a Grip album came out, they had Crying and Crazy. and Amazing and all those songs that they did those epic videos for. That was like the iconic time of the MTV era.
They dominated MTV in that era, that Get a Grip era.
Yeah, Get a Grip.
What's his name? I think it was David Spade. Someone on Saturday Night Live had this thing where they were making fun of him. They're like, crying, crazy, amazing for you, baby. It's like those are 3 songs like could blend together.
And you talk about Alicia Silverstone and not Reese Witherspoon.
I think that's
Silverstone. She was like the icon for that.
She was there. Yeah, I think I had Alicia Silverstone on the brain because of Aerosmith. That's probably why I confused her with Reese Witherspoon earlier. I apologize, Reese. I know you watch.
Dryden, do you have,
Brutal
in
Planet
your
viewer.
short amount of time on this earth, do you have any memories of Aerosmith?
Dryden?
So Aerosmith, I'm not too familiar with. I mean,
That's
obviously
fine.
Dream On and like all that stuff. I know. I remember my grandpa talking about how he went to see them when they were all drugged out, and then
Which
after
was
they
when? Like
kind
could have
of
been last week.
No, they're not now.
I think they like sobered up, or they did a tour where they like were sober, and then he saw him again, and he said it was way like 100 times better than the first performance. So it's interesting to hear that, but I'm not super familiar. I know Steven Tyler, but that's it.
So
remember when they did that Gap commercial?
Yeah,
I forgot about that. I'm just thinking of Aerosmith shit. Now I got to
so
look that up.
the other funny thing for me is I've seen them probably 4 times or so. And it's crazy because when I've seen them, the one major artist I can remember seeing them open for them was when they were doing the Get a Grip tour. I saw them, and they had Megadeth open for them.
That's cool.
That's dope.
Wow.
Yeah.
So check this out. We can show this because it's a commercial. 1997, baby. I actually thought this was really cool.
It is really cool.
Yeah, that is dope.
Anyway, that was cool. I actually for a commercial, I thought that was a really cool idea.
Yeah. I mean, and nobody can really deny the influence that Aerosmith has had in the music industry. So, I mean, good on them.
Eminem did a song with Dream On.
Yeah, where they were with Slim Shady, right? So I mean, they've done what they needed to do. It's time to just dream on and move on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good for them. I respect the shit out of them.
I know Steven Tyler was having like vocal cord problems. Some good stuff, Dryden. You may want to check out some of the Aerosmith stuff. I love like Back in the Saddle. That song Back in the Saddle. I'm back in the saddle.
I'm sure I've heard it like in passing, just you listening to stuff.
Yeah, you've probably heard that song.
Yeah.
And, you know, and Joe Perry and Steven Tyler had their issues together, and there was the Joe Perry project, and Aerosmith went a while without Joe Perry. But, you know, you can't discount the other guys in Aerosmith too. You know,
grew up with them, Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, Tom Petty, and 2 other guys. All right, anyway.
Joey Kramers and shit like that. They were awesome bandmates. They held that shit.
One of those bands too that like pretty much stayed with mostly the original lineup for most of their career.
Exactly.
They had some hiccups, but well, also you got to give him credit too, because I know Steven Tyler was like having vocal problems, and he's just like, "Yo, I'm just gonna hang it up."
Yeah, and you know that's the sad part is a lot of these guys can keep playing their instruments till they're dead, but vocally it's hard to keep that voice going.